Simon Cowell looked down at his notes and then back toward the stage. After many years of watching auditions, he had learned that sometimes the most unforgettable moments come from the most unexpected people. The host stepped forward and announced the next contestant. A small boy slowly walked onto the stage. He looked very young and nervous, but his eyes were filled with determination. The audience noticed that his clothes were simple and slightly worn. He held the microphone tightly with both hands as if he was afraid it might slip away. Simon leaned forward and asked him his name. The boy answered softly that his name was Daniel and he was 13 years old. Simon asked where he was from. Daniel said he came from a small poor neighborhood where life was often difficult, but his mother always encouraged him to keep believing in his dreams. Simon smiled gently and asked what he planned to sing. The boy hesitated for a moment. His eyes filled with emotion before he answered. He said he wanted to sing a song for his mother. Simon asked if she was in the audience. Daniel shook his head slowly. He explained that his mother was very sick and she was in the hospital. She had been fighting a serious illness for many months and doctors were not sure if she would recover. The audience became very quiet. Daniel said his mother loved hearing him sing. When he was younger, she used to sit beside him every night while he practiced music. Even when she became weak and tired, she still asked him to sing because it gave her hope. Daniel explained that the hospital staff had arranged for his mother to watch the audition live on television from her hospital bed. As soon as the audience heard that, many people placed their hands over their mouths in surprise. Simon's expression changed. He looked deeply moved by the story. Daniel then looked toward the lights above the stage and said that he hoped his mother was watching. He told the judges that he wanted to sing a song that his mother loved very much. The music began softly. For a moment the boy closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Then he started singing. The first note was gentle but incredibly emotional. His voice was not just beautiful, it carried a deep sincerity that filled the entire room. Every word felt real. The audience quickly realized that this was not just another audition. This was a boy pouring his entire heart into a song for the person he loved most. The lyrics spoke about gratitude, love, and the hope that one day everything would be okay again. Some people in the audience began wiping tears from their eyes. The camera moved to the judges. Simon Cowell watched the boy carefully. His usual serious expression softened as he listened. Meanwhile, miles away in a quiet hospital room, Daniel's mother lay in her bed surrounded by medical machines. A small television screen showed the live broadcast of the audition. A nurse stood nearby quietly watching. Daniel's mother looked weak, but her eyes were focused on the screen. When she heard her son begin singing, a small smile appeared on her face. Back on the stage, Daniel's confidence slowly grew stronger. His voice became more powerful with every line. He sang about how his mother had always been his hero and how she never stopped believing in him even when life became difficult. The audience was completely silent. Every person in the room felt the emotion in the performance. The camera returned to the hospital room. Daniel's mother was now crying softly while watching her son sing. The nurse gently placed a hand on her shoulder. Back at the theater, Daniel reached the most emotional part of the song. His voice trembled as he sang the final verse directly to his mother. He sang that no matter what happened, he would always love her and that he would keep chasing his dreams because she taught him never to give up. The final note echoed through the theater. For a few seconds there was absolute silence. Then suddenly the entire audience stood up. People began clapping loudly while many of them wiped tears from their faces. The applause felt endless. Simon Cowell slowly stood up as well. Even he looked emotional. When the applause finally calmed down, Simon spoke first. He told Daniel that he had heard thousands of singers in his career, but moments like this were very rare. He said the performance was not about perfect notes or technical skill. It was about honesty, heart, and love. Another judge said the boy's voice carried something special because it came from a place of real emotion. Simon then asked Daniel how his mother was doing. Daniel said she had been getting weaker recently, but she still believed he would one day stand on a big stage. Simon paused for a moment as if thinking carefully. Then he said something that surprised everyone. He said that sometimes a performance reminds us what life is really about. He turned toward the audience and said that this young boy did not just sing a song tonight. He shared his heart with the world. Simon reached forward and pressed the golden buzzer. Suddenly golden confetti exploded from above the stage. The audience erupted into cheers and applause. Daniel looked completely shocked. He covered his face with his hands as tears began running down his cheeks. The judges stood up clapping while the golden confetti continued falling around him. Back in the hospital room, Daniel's mother watched the moment on television. When she saw the golden confetti falling, she began crying with joy. The nurse smiled warmly and told her that her son had just won the golden buzzer. The camera showed Daniel looking up at the falling confetti with disbelief. He kept repeating that he wished his mother could see this moment. The host stepped forward and said something that made the moment even more powerful. He told Daniel that the show had arranged for the hospital to connect them on a live video call. A large screen appeared on the stage. Within seconds, the image of Daniel's mother appeared from the hospital room. The audience gasped. Daniel turned toward the screen and saw his mother watching him. Both of them immediately began crying. His mother told him she was proud of him and that his song gave her strength. Daniel promised that he would keep singing for her every day. The audience watched the emotional conversation in complete silence. Simon Cowell quietly said that this was one of the most touching moments he had ever witnessed on the show. Later that night, the video of Daniel's performance spread across the internet. Millions of people shared the story. Messages of support arrived from all over the world. People sent prayers, encouragement, and love for Daniel and his mother. Many viewers said the performance reminded them to appreciate their families and never take love for granted. In the weeks that followed, Daniel continued performing in the competition while visiting his mother at the hospital whenever possible. Each time he stepped onto the stage, he remembered the promise he made to her. And each time he sang, the audience remembered the brave young boy who turned his pain into a beautiful song. Because sometimes the most powerful music does not come from fame or success. Sometimes it comes from love. And sometimes one small voice can remind the world that hope is stronger than fear.